Good afternoon and welcome to my second recipe of this week. Today we're going to be making a white sauce, which will probably become a cheese sauce. And this is pretty simple. All you need is butter, or in this case ICB, INB. I can't believe it's not butter. Some flour and some milk, and that's in ratios of 1, 1 and 2. So we're going to be using 100 grams of butter, 100 grams of flour, and about 200 grams of milk. So first things first, we simply just put the butter in there on a pretty medium heat and just let it melt away, just like that. I'm just moving the butter around just to make sure it doesn't burn. You're not trying to cook the butter, you're just trying to melt it into a fine soupular consistency. So now that's nearly melted, I've just worked out the right amount of flour, and when this goes in, this needs to be sieved into the pot, because otherwise it'll be lumpy and then you get a pretty lumpy white sauce, which isn't very nice. So now it's ready to be sieved. There's the sieve. Just going to put all the flour on there, and then the best way you can just like move it like that, which is very delicate, or what I usually do is just like almost knead the flour into the sieve so that it definitely is all going through like that, and it goes down quite lovely. Now you can see all of the flour is in there and it's nice and neat, so now you just want to mix the two together until you have a sticky paste. It's looking like this. It looks almost like when you're making toffee. So this kind of consistency, so it is gloopier, but it does kind of stick together at the same time. Now at this stage you want to turn the heat down just a little bit, so it's on a lower heat, and then add the milk. Okay, so I've worked out the right amount of milk, and now I'm just pouring that in like that, basically until that's all submerged. It's fine like that. Now you've got the two mixed together. And now the longest and most laborious part of this process is simply just mixing. You just need to constantly stir. What will happen, obviously, you can still see the bits of the roux butter flour mixture in there. Now gradually dissolving, and it will just get to a point where this will become a nice thick sauce. But for that to be achieved, you just need to just constantly be stirring it like this for a long time. Not very long, it won't take too long, but some time. So I've been stirring this for about 5 minutes now, quite a while. But you can see now it's not just like a milky mix. It's very thick. It's a little bit of lumpiness in it, but that's okay. It won't change the taste of this. Basically, this is probably as thick as it's going to get. But the key to that is literally just to keep stirring it. You know, like I suppose like making cream, you just need to keep whisking that. This is same kind of thing. You just need to keep stirring it continuously. At this point, it's not just a roux, as they say, but this is a white sauce. Now I've just taken this off the heat, and it is pretty hot. It's steaming, and the occasional bubble is coming up, but at this point I'm going to turn it into a cheese sauce, and basically I've just got a load of grated cheese. I'm going to just take a few handfuls of this and just put it in like that. I'll do a second one like that, just a couple of handfuls of that grated cheese, and then just the heat of the white sauce will just melt that as you mix it in, just like that. And so down a little bit, but yeah, just the heat of that will just naturally and quite lovely melt it in. And what I'm going to do is just be a bit cheeky and put the rest of that in. Not a lot left, but that's for about 3 handfuls now of grated cheese. And then what I usually do on top of that, a bit of pepper. A bit of pepper just in there, not too much, but just to give it a bit of extra flavour, just like that. Maybe a bit more, because I like it peppery. Yeah, this is something that you can do. You can do a lot with. If you want to make this into a macaroni cheese, or maybe a cauliflower cheese, all you do is well, you boil some pasta in a separate pan, and then and then once the cheese sauce is finished, and once the pasta is completely boiled, drain the pasta, mix the two together, and put it in a dish, and then sprinkle some more cheese on top of that, and then put that in the oven. If it's a larger dish, it may need to be in there for 45 minutes. If it's a smaller one, you could probably get away with 25 to 30 minutes. But putting it in the oven after this mix is done just really cooks it through, makes it more solid, like a macaroni cheese is supposed to be, rather than still quite gloopy. But also that the cheese that you sprinkled on the top, it's a lovely grilled texture on the top, which is very nice. And that does the same thing for a cauliflower cheese. This really, I mean, you could go online and find multiple things for multiple usages for the same recipe. But today, what I'm going to do is box this up, and well, you'll see why at a later date. So there you go, that was today's recipe, the cheese sauce. So I'll just put that in a box, and it's important just for a little while just to let that cool down just before you put it in the freezer. But with something like rice is a little bit funny, and you can actually get food poisoning from rice. So if you're freezing rice, put it in straight away as soon as it's done. But we'll look into that in a separate video at a later date. Thank you very much for watching today.